Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is doing well out there in the ethosphere on Beyonce's internet. I am Anthony Handy, aka Mr. Fingers, aka Get Rid of Him and Smith, aka Angry Birds fan, coming to you this week on Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable with your rookie spotlight. This week's rookie comes to us by way of the Bluegrass State, by way of Massachusetts, Newton, Massachusetts, in fact. Born a mere 4 days after my 29th birthday back in 1999. He played football. He played his high school football in Madison, Connecticut, wound up making his way to Penn State and eventually into the hearts and minds of the good folks in Heinz Field in Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, today's rookie, Mr. William Donovan Levis. Yes, I use his entire government issue. Mr. Mayonnaise, Mr. Banana Peels. That's the guy. Like I mentioned, I was born in Newton, Massachusetts, wound up growing up in Madison, Connecticut, played his ball in Middleton, Connecticut at Xavier High School, broke all sorts of records. Folks, the reason that these guys are not just rookies of the week just because they're rookies. These guys are rookies. Most of these guys I brought to you as rookies have been guys that have been standouts in high school and college. This guy broke several records for passing touchdowns and 27 passing touchdowns and 2,793 yards passing as a senior. He committed to Penn State. He wound up playing behind Sean Clifford for his first 2 years. He started a whole whopping 2 games during his 2 years on the team. He did redshirt in his freshman year. He did complete 8 of 14 passes for 81 yards in his very first start and an interception with 108 rushing yards. That's put a pin in that. We'll get back to that in a little bit. He wound up transferring to the University of Kentucky in 2021. He'd already graduated from Penn State that May after backing up Sean Clifford with the red shirt, and with COVID, he had the 2 years of eligibility. So he went to Kentucky to play for Mark Stoops, and that was when the world was introduced fully. That was literally his college football coming out party. His first start, he threw for 367 yards and count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdowns. That comes right before the fifth, by the way, for those of you that are keeping track. He wound up leading the team to victory in the Citrus Bowl that year over Iowa, who was ranked number 15 at the time. He decided to cast his lot with the NFL draft after the 2022 season. Actually, the 2021 season was the better season, although I will say this, with the combination of Mark Stoops coaching, Will Levis at quarterback, he had Chris Rodriguez, who is a phenomenal running back also in the backfield, definitely bringing Kentucky back into the spotlight and the National College Football spotlight, especially being in the Southeastern Conference, which at that time was being featured because some team from over there somewhere was winning a lot of games, and they were in the same conference. So his first year, he went 10-3 at Kentucky. The second year, they didn't fare quite so well, still come up with a 7-4 record altogether. He wound up finishing his entire college career with throwing for almost 6,000 yards, 46 touchdowns. Did have 25 interceptions, though, but I'm gonna kind of give him a and the reason that I say that is because him being in the SEC, I got to watch him play a lot more than some of these other rookies that I have brought to you. And then not only in the SEC, in the same division as the Bulldogs, so I got to see him play a lot. I got to watch his play every weekend. One of the big things was their offensive line, not as strong as it should have been, but we're not going to get into that. We're not talking college ball. We're talking about Mr. Levis. They did have him projected as a first-round draft pick. I know you guys all remember the camera was on him every 2 seconds, him and his girlfriend, and then we found out about his weird eating habits, about how he eats the bananas. He doesn't peel them, skin and banana, and how he puts mayonnaise in his coffee, which, as my understanding, he did get a nice little NIL deal as a result of that. But he wound up falling to the second day of the draft. He wound up getting picked up by the Tennessee Titans with the 33rd overall pick in this past spring's NFL draft. Wound up as the third string quarterback behind Malik Willis, who's second string, and of course Ryan Tannehill at first string. Well, you know what? Sometimes good things come to those who wait. Sometimes that saying is true. Tannehill got hurt. Levis came out and put up 238 yards and 4 touchdowns. Why did I pick Malik Willis? Because you know who he beat? The Atlanta Falcons in a 28-23 win over the Atlanta Falcons. And then the following week, he wound up throwing for 262 yards and 1 interception. They wound up losing to the Steelers. But great kid. He was so Mike Vrabel was so impressed with him that he said, this guy is our starter moving forward for the remainder of the season. Definitely giving that offense a good shot in the arm. Now, here are the things that I really like about Will Levis. Will Levis is 6'3", almost 6'4", 229 pounds. He's not a small guy. Of course, not very many people in the NFL are small guys, but as a quarterback, that can be a pretty imposing figure back there standing behind that offensive line. He's stocky. He's stocky and he's well built. So he definitely stays healthy. He's got a very strong arm, and it's an accurate strong arm. It's not just a guy with a cannon, that's like, I bet I could throw that ball over them there mountains. It's not like that. He's got a very accurate long ball. One of the things about him in the pocket is he is exceptionally patient. He can take his time and wait for a play to develop. And if things break down in the pocket, he's not much of a running quarterback, but he does have a couple of moves. He's got a nasty little spin move. If you come at him from the right, he's gonna do a 360 on you. He's gonna 360 juke you to the left and keep it pushing. I don't recall ever seeing. I'm not even kidding. I was watching a highlight film. Most times he jukes to his left. Every now and again, he kind of stutter steps to his right, but he always does that 360 spin move to his left. And he's not uber fast. He's not the Flash. He's not going to be Flash and Superman in a foot race. But once he breaks open and with that little bit of elusiveness, he can get away from you. Didn't score a whole metric ton of touchdowns during his time in college. Believe the total magic number there for him rushing was actually he did score 17 in 4 years, which for a quarterback is quite a bit. Not a rushing quarterback like Lamar Jackson or a Justin Fields or a Kyler Murray, so to speak, but still 17 touchdowns over the course of 4 seasons, and 6 of those at Penn State while he was playing backup to the starter. So this is a kid. Now that he's gotten his opportunity to play, we've seen him. He's out there. He's looked very composed for a kid that, they just handed him the ball and said, hey, kid, your show. And he has definitely shown them why Tennessee spent the money to bring him to the Titans. And we will see what unfolds as the season unfolds. We have a very small sample size from him in the NFL so far, but I would not be surprised if next season there is a quarterback competition, and quarterback competition. I'm using the air quotes because we know what that means when they say quarterback competition. They've already picked out the starter, but they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Something tells me Ryan Tannehill is going to be either relegated to the bench or shuffled off the Buffalo, as the saying goes. Looking forward to seeing some things from Mr. Willis now that we're not playing against each other in the same conference anymore. Best wishes to you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's Rookie of the Week. And I managed to not make this particular segment too manic. Aren't you proud of me? Rookie of the Week, Will Levis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andy. And yes, we will be following Will in the coming weeks to see just how he fares, there in Tennessee. All right, we're going to move on.
Yeah, go ahead. One more I want to see. I'm kind of disappointed that all this time that he's never pulled the old banana peel trick on somebody when they were trying to tackle him. I mean, because he eats them. That's why. Never mind.
Yeah. There you go. Anthony Handy, ladies and gentlemen, who'll be here all week. Tip your waitress. But